You know that moment at a party when someone smiles and asks, "So, what do you do?" and something inside you just shuts down? Or when you're stuck in an elevator and the silence gets filled with crazy weather today?
What
Huh?
do you do?
And you nod, smile, say the right things, but inside, you feel drained before the conversation even begins. It's not that you hate people. It's not that you don't know how to talk. It's that these conversations feel empty, repetitive, almost scripted, and no matter how many times you go through them, they never feel real. Let's clear something up right away. You're not rude, and you're definitely not antisocial. You're not bad at conversations, and you're not broken. In fact, what you're experiencing isn't a flaw at all. It's a difference. The way your brain processes conversations, meaning, and connection operates on a completely different level than most people realize. And once you understand that, everything starts to make sense. Psychologists have a term for this. It's called the need for cognition. It basically measures how much your mind craves deep thinking, complexity, and meaning. Some people score low. They're comfortable keeping things light and surface level, but others score high. And if you're one of them, your brain isn't satisfied with small talk because it's wired to search for depth, patterns, and real substance. It's not that you're disengaged, it's that your mind is looking for something more. For people like you, small talk doesn't just feel boring, it feels empty. Imagine sitting down at a beautifully set dinner table, candles lit, music playing, and then realizing there's no food on your plate. That's what surface-level conversations feel like. The structure is there, the social ritual is there, but there's nothing meaningful to engage with. Your brain is built to explore ideas, emotions, perspectives, the things that actually make conversations worth having. So when all you get is "How was your weekend?" or "What do you do?" it's not stimulation, it's starvation. And the more often it happens, the more disconnected you feel, even when you're surrounded by people. And here's the part most people don't really research actually backs this up. Studies have shown that the happiest people don't spend their time in constant small talk. In fact, they have significantly fewer surface-level conversations and far more meaningful, in-depth ones. Not a little more, significantly more. So, if small talk leaves you feeling drained or disconnected, it's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your brain is aligned with what actually creates real human satisfaction: depth, honesty, and genuine connection. But craving depth is only part of the story. Because for some people, small talk isn't just uninteresting, it's exhausting. Not in a long day at work kind of way, but in a deeper, harder to explain mental fatigue. And once you understand why, it completely changes how you see yourself. For this second group, conversations aren't just conversations, they're constant analysis. While others casually chat about the weather, your mind is tracking everything. Tone of voice, word choice, facial expressions, pauses, timing your reading between the lines while also trying to respond in real time. It's like having dozens of tabs open in your brain at once. You're thinking about what to say, how it might be interpreted, whether it sounds natural, whether you're saying too much or too little. And all of that is happening in seconds. So what looks like a simple exchange on the outside is actually a high-effort mental process on the inside. And over time, that level of processing doesn't just tire you out, it drains you. Psychologists call this cognitive load, when your brain is handling more information than your working memory can comfortably process. And instead of running on autopilot like most people do in casual conversations, your mind switches into what Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman described as System 2 thinking. That's the slower, more deliberate, energy-intensive mode of thinking. It's powerful, but it's costly. So, while others can breeze through small talk without effort, your brain is working at full capacity the entire time. And that's why something so simple can feel so exhausting. For some people, this goes even deeper than personality. It traces back to experience. Maybe you grew up in an environment where your words were constantly judged, corrected, or misunderstood. Maybe saying the wrong thing led to tension, embarrassment, or even conflict. Over time, your brain adapted. It learned that conversations aren't always safe. There's something to navigate carefully. So now, even in simple interactions, part of you stays alert. You're not just talking, you're scanning, filtering, anticipating. What others experience as casual, your mind treats as something to manage, and that constant awareness, it's not weakness, it's learned protection. But for another group of people, the issue with small talk isn't about energy or overthinking at all. It's something much more personal, something that hits at the core of who they are. Because for them, small talk doesn't just feel tiring, it feels wrong. Think about how many times you've said, "I'm good," when you weren't. How many times you smiled, nodded, and played along with a conversation that didn't reflect how you actually felt. That's the hidden weight of small talk. It often requires you to perform a version of yourself that isn't real, and for some people, that creates a quiet but constant discomfort. It feels like a small betrayal every time. Not dramatic, not obvious, but enough to make you pull back. Because deep down, you don't want to connect through scripts. You want something honest, something real. And when every interaction starts with pretending, even a little, it doesn't feel like connection, it feels like distance. Here's the surprising part: most people actually want deeper conversations too. Studies have shown that we consistently underestimate how much others are open to meaningful discussions. We assume it'll be awkward, too intense, or inappropriate, so we stay on the surface. But when conversations do go deeper, people tend to feel more connected, more understood, and even happier. In other words, we avoid the very thing that could bring us closer. It's not that depth is uncomfortable, it's that we've been conditioned to believe it is. There's also something deeper at play, something wired into you long before modern social norms existed. For thousands of years, survival depended on reading between the lines. Not just what people said, but what they meant. Subtle cues, hidden intentions, shifts in tone, those signals mattered. And some people today still carry that heightened sensitivity. While others are comfortable staying on the surface, you naturally look beneath it. You notice inconsistencies. You feel what's unspoken. That doesn't make you difficult, it makes you perceptive. Your brain isn't rejecting small talk randomly. It's tuned for something more real. Across all these experiences, there's one thing that tends to connect people, like you're genuinely comfortable with silence. While most people rush to fill every quiet moment, you don't see silence as awkward. You see it as honest. You don't need constant words to feel connected. And when it comes to relationships, you'd rather have a few people who truly understand you than dozens who only know your surface. That's why your circle may be smaller but deeper. It's not about being distant or superior. It's about being intentional. You're not interested in performing for connection, you're interested in experiencing it for real. So here's the question worth asking yourself: do you avoid small talk because you're searching for something deeper, or because even depth feels a little unsafe? Both are valid. Both come from somewhere real, but only one leads to the kind of connection you actually want. The truth is, you're not antisocial. You're not bad at conversations. You're selectively social. You value meaning over noise, depth over routine, honesty over performance. And that's not a weakness, it's clarity. So the next time you find yourself pulling away from small talk, don't just ask, "What's wrong with me?" Ask something better. What am I really looking for?